Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode, we had the season simulation and the rest of it, and the trade deadline, that type of stuff. We got rid of Tyler Johnson and sent him to Detroit. We made a pretty big blockbuster deal with them, and we brought in Simon Edvinsson as a defensive prospect. So team is starting to come along. It seems like now we have good elite prospects like Korchinski and Edvinsson on the defensive front. So hopefully both of them could be NHL blue liners for long periods of time and stuff like that, and hopefully bolster our team enough to be in a cup contender down the road. But anyways, we're up here at the draft, obviously looking to add some more good prospects in and maybe making some big signings this offseason in a sense just to keep us afloat in terms of the salary cap, because we did have a little bit of problems making that trade in last episode as well, because basically our team was like right at the cap like minimum and stuff like that. So in order to make that trade happen, we had to bring in Nikita Zaitsev, and he ended up playing like a couple games as like a forward and all that type of thing, which is pretty funny. Yeah, basically we brought in him to make sure that we didn't fall below that cap minimum, and we also like retained like 50% on Tyler Johnson, but at least he was only signed till the end of the season, so it's not too bad. But anyways, before we get into the draft and resign stage, I do have a number of comments to go over. So the first one, it's from Cody Legaspi. He says, should really try and sign some veteran player to 1 year massive contract in the offseason to keep you out of the cap issues. Out of these cap issues. So yeah, we'll probably sign somebody, like even if it's just a fourth liner or a third liner, we'll sign them to like a 1 year deal, but we'll give them a lot of money just to make sure we don't fall into these cap situation problems, because it is pretty painful when you're trying to trade and it takes you like 20 minutes to actually get a trade to go through, you know. Next comment is from Kevin Himina. He says, it looks like you needed Nikita Zaitsev for cap reasons, and he also says, and it was funny to see him play as a first line forward for a game, which is true. It was really weird to bring in Nikita Zaitsev, because I honestly don't really like Zaitsev as well as a player as most people don't. It's not that I don't like him as a human being, but I don't like him as a player really. And yeah, he managed to play a couple games with us this year. Only 2 games, but one of them he scored a goal in, which was kind of funny. I don't know if that was the game he played forward in, but regardless, yeah, we had Nikita Zaitsev for a little bit just to keep us afloat with that $4.5 million cap hit, which is kind of funny. So at least we got that trade to go through afterwards, where we brought in Simon Edvinsson because of that. Next comment is from Rebecca Weiss-Woods, which says, Caswell for the draft looks great. I would take him. As for Byfield, you might want to do the 85% and sign him for $500,000 less than his asking price for 8 years. This will help with the cap, and each year the cap goes up after 8 years, so it won't look as bad as a contract, or as bad of a contract. You could look at the draft and see if Minnie is willing to part ways with that defenseman. Offer the rights to Mrazek and picks, but and then it says, but I laughed when you had to break down and get Zaitsev. LOL. You could have seen what Philly is looking for your favorite player and bring him in as well. So basically, Caswell, I think he was this guy that we don't really know anything about, but you guys probably know what he's like just because he's a real player in real life. Also, in terms of the Byfield thing, we want to maybe do a little bit less than he's asking for instead of 85% trick. So like, for example, what is he asking for 8 years right now? So basically, $500,000 less, so like 10 point, yeah, we might be able to do 10 and stuff. That would be still probably reasonable and also help us with the cap situation, so we'll probably end up doing that. And then also try and offer in rights to Mrazek and picks, and we could see if Minnie is willing to part with that defenseman, which I don't know which defenseman is referred to. Yeah, I don't really know. We'll have to find that out once we get to the draft and stuff like that, but there's that. And then the final comment is from HockeyGuy88. He says, I think it would be a good idea to get another elite potential defenseman into the system, so I think Brunstrom should be your pick. So if we bring in him, then we'll have 3 elite defenders, which is kind of crazy to say that with Korchinski and all that stuff. So yeah, I could see it, to be honest. His draft class isn't as good, but yeah, I could see us bringing in Brunstrom. I don't know too much about Clark Caswell, and I don't know how he grows in franchise mode. I think Brunstrom's an EA-generated guy, so I would probably lean towards drafting him just because I like EA-generated guys a lot more than real players. So I think we're probably going to go with Brunstrom just to make sure our defensive core is as solidified as possible, because then we would have a lot of good players on it, and we could be a pretty good defensive team in a sense, because I know that Byfield does win Selkies in franchise mode, so we could end up being a very good 200-foot team in a sense. So Anyways, let's get into this draft and resign stage and see what we could do. And yeah, hopefully next episode when we have free agency, there's somebody we could sign to a massive contract for 1 year just to keep us afloat with the cap space. Okay, so the Islanders have first, San Jose second, Chicago number 3, obviously for us, and Arizona 4, and Vancouver 5. So let's see what the Islanders take at number 1. They're going to go with Christensen, who's the 79 overall two-way defenseman. Looks like this. Probably going to be pretty good for them for multiple years. Obviously, the Islanders are usually a defensive team in real life, so should be interesting to see what they do. And Reefers goes to San Jose, 78 overall two-way forward. Looking like this, with a couple of zone abilities, or one zone ability and some superstar abilities. Good face-off man and good at passing pretty much. Good at taking away the puck. Not a surprise. Okay, so our pick. We're going to take Brunstrom. Even though I think he's probably going to be like a 76 out of the draft. I think we'll take him. He might not play in the NHL this season, but he could just start in the AHL right away, so that's good. So we'll probably sign him to his ELC and let him play in the AHL if we could find that contract room. So, yeah, let's take Matthias Brunstrom, which I don't think he's a real player, but you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. He's only a 73, damn. Yeah, this is probably one of the worst draft classes I've seen overall rating-wise. But he does have a lot of abilities here. He's got Yoink as his main one. He's got Thunderclap, Off the Rush, Tape to Tape, Shrug It Off, and In Reverse. So, he's got a wicked slap shot from the point. He's got great passing. Yeah, his slap shot's good. His passing's great. He's got some good skating as well, and he's good at intercepting pucks and whatnot, or stick lifting, I should say. That's impressive. That's not too bad. He's going to be definitely more defensively oriented, but yeah, I'm excited to see what this guy develops into. We're going to let him play probably 1 year in the AHL, I'd say at least, before we actually bring him up, because 73s in the NHL doesn't make sense unless we're doing a draft to glory. But so there you go. There is our first pick in this franchise, or not in this franchise, in this episode. Let me go to the, let me go to find trade for a second. I want to take a look at Minnesota and see what defenseman was referred to, because I don't really know which one it was. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, maybe it was Markstrom that got dealt multiple times, right? Was it Markstrom? No. I don't know who it is. I must have looked at it that last episode, but I honestly don't remember. Yeah, I don't see who it is. I honestly don't know who it is, so I'm not going to even check, I guess. But Rebecca, if you could let me know which defenseman you were referring to, that'd be nice. And yeah, let's sim to our second round pick. Actually, let's say the next top players in the top 5, just in case to see what we missed. So Clark Haswell is going to probably go, yeah, 74, so a little bit better overall-wise. And this is what he looks like out of the draft, tape to tape. Not bad, but I mean, I would rather the defenseman in a sense. And Vancouver is going to take a 73 playmaker in Berkeley Catan, who's real as well. So yeah, that's a really weak top 5. When you have 73, like, guys that aren't even NHL eligible. Like, these two will probably play in the NHL, but like top 6 minutes in like bottom 6 minutes. Yeah, this is probably one of the weakest draft classes in franchise mode. Okay, let's zoom up to our next pick, which is also right at the end of the first round. I forgot we had multiple first rounders this year. Wait, do we have back-to-back picks? Yeah, we have back-to-back picks to end the first round because both of our teams played in the finals, I guess, or they traded our picks to them. What do we want to go with this one? There's Donald Little, who's a low elite gem, or not low elite gem, low top 6 gem. Might honestly take him since he's a gem. But let's scroll down. Let's see if we got anything else here. Let's sort by potential, see if there's anybody actually supposed to go around this point. We're gonna have an early second round or second rounder as well, so. This guy is not supposed to go for a while still, so yeah, I think we're gonna take the low top 6 here, and then we got to find out what to take with our next pick. But this draft class, it's not the best. I might honestly take Sven Jansson with the other pick, even though I don't really know anything about him. So let's take Donald Little first, though, since we know he's a gem. 61 overall, low top 6 sniper. No zone abilities, but then again, maybe I didn't scout him fully. But he looks like he could be a solid scorer at some point. And our last pick of the first round. Let's see, Sven Jansson. Yeah, I think we're going to take Jansson. He's got leadership abilities. He's got no weakness apparently as well. So, might be a top 6 forward. Maybe only a top 9, but we'll take him anyways. And how good was he? Now we have the first pick of the next round. Wow, 3 straight picks. Has the team ever had 3 picks consecutively like that before? Because I don't think so. Only medium top 9, and he's also a playmaker. I don't know. That might have been a bad pick, but this draft class is not looking too good in terms of depth, so. What else we got here? Some of these guys could be trade assets eventually, too, so. Second round, what do we got? Strimbu is another top 9, and he's a sniper. Does he have a zone ability? He might have 1T. He does have really good shooting, so. I'm kind of leaning towards him right now. Let's just pin him so I know where he is. Mats Naslund, that's funny. Did I recognize that in the last episode? I might have. Alos has good shooting as well, but probably a worser player. Svitov, he's 19. Yeah, this draft class honestly looks like terrible. Doesn't look like really much of anything. So at some point, we're probably just going to go off potential. So let's go with Strimbu here, though. And he's a 62 top 9 sniper. Not bad. No zone ability at all. But solid shooting. Looks like he could be an AHL player, or maybe even better than that. Next pick. We have, I think, multiple third rounders this year as well, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get a bunch of crap in this draft, but it's okay. Oh, yeah, you guys were saying to get rid of Mrazek's rights with a pick, but I don't think anybody's going to want to trade for a pending UFA, to be honest. So I'm just going to leave that for now. What do we got here? Goaltender prospect, Joshua Patterson. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to bring in a goalie prospect at this stage. Yeah, let's take him. Why not? And 57 fringe starter. I mean, we already have, I think, yeah, we have Comesso, who's going to be jumping to the NHL likely this season. And then there was somebody else as well that we drafted recently, but might as well pick up some more goalie prospects because they're always good to stack up on a little bit. Because I know other teams always look for goaltenders. Yeah, this draft class I honestly don't know really anything about. I don't know if it's because my scouts are so terrible, or if it's because this draft class is legit like a really bad draft class. Yeah, we'll take Hagerodov since he's 3-bar low elite. He's probably going to be like a low top 9, knowing my luck. Low elite, okay, never mind. 54 overall, so there's Hagerodov. We'll see if he develops into being anything. He's only a 2-way forward, though, so he's probably going to become like a bottom 6er at best, but still, not a bad pick there. But that's a third rounder, that's a 54. Like, this is really a bad draft. Shouldn't have stocked up on picks for this draft in a way. Drake Kadri. Since his name's Drake, I should draft him. To be honest, it's kind of funny. And is he going to wear number 6 is the question, Sure, let's go with Kadri. Why not? I don't really know who to go with at these stages. Low bottom 6. In the 4th round, we're getting low bottom 6s. This is a really weak draft. Like, I honestly should just sell the rest of my picks. For, like, picks for next year. You know what? I might honestly just do that, because this draft class is literally, like, it's depressing. Let's go offer trade. Who wants the picks for this year? The rest of my picks. And I will try and get a pick for next year in return, because we have a 5th, 6th, and a 7th. Anaheim wants them. Do you guys got picks for next year that you could give me for them? Like, can I get a 4th rounder for them? I could definitely get a 4th rounder. Can I get a 3rd rounder is the question for all those. Probably not, but maybe I can. Looks like I could actually get a 3rd rounder. Definitely can't get a 2nd rounder, but yeah, maybe I could get a 2nd rounder. If I could get a 2nd rounder for these 3 picks, I would laugh my ass off, but let's see what Anaheim's it is. Rejected, okay. We'll try a 3rd rounder then. I'm okay with getting a 3rd rounder. Maybe a 4th rounder is what we're going to end up getting, but let's try that. That's accepted. Okay, wow. So we trade the remaining 3 round picks that we don't look really good, and we get a 3rd rounder out of it from Anaheim. That I think was LA's pick originally, but there you go. We have no more picks in this draft because that is a terrible draft, and I don't want any more parts of it, so there you go. So in this draft, we get Brunstrom, Little Johnson, Strimbu, Patterson, Hagerodov, and Kadri. It's not bad. It was weird traded away the last of our 3 picks, but it made sense because that draft class just didn't look good. Even in terms of like potential-wise, we couldn't really see who was good potential and all that stuff. So, should I let go of all of our coaches? Is the question. Didn't I just bring in Hannon as a head coach? Oh, he's pretty bad. But I mean, I should re-sign him actually, to be honest. Since we're going through a building stage, we want to have bad coaches right now. So let's sign him up. Let's continue to hold on to these bad coaches if we can. We do want to still have a good AHL coach, though, because that way our guys get growth down there. But yeah, let's just try and keep our NHL coaches, because we won't want to do good for the next few years still. And we got one scout to bring back, which is Elliot. So we'll bring him back. Actually, maybe, yeah, we'll bring him back because he's got a B- rating. We got to take a look and see if there's any good scouts out there as well in next episode for sure. Let's get to the resign stage and resign some players now and see what we got. So unsigned wise, I am going to sign Brunstrom and let him play in the AHL right away. The rest of these guys I think I'm going to wait on though. Yeah, I'm going to wait on everybody else for now. In terms of Byfield, let's do an 8-year deal like I was saying. Ooh, he dropped his asking price even a little bit. That's nice. Let's go to my, actually not to my calculator. Let's just do what Rebecca was suggesting, and $500,000 less, which means we could get him for like just under $9 million. Which I think is definitely a good deal. And yeah, Byfield's going to be our top line center, or one of our top line centers for years to come. So should be good rate around here. Yeah, should be good at 8.95 for 8 years. Baudin. I am going to qualify Baudin, I think. Unless, I know he doesn't really develop much in franchise mode. 8 years at 3.425. Is that good for a top 6 defenseman? Probably. At some stage it would be. I feel like almost giving a lot of these younger guys 8-year deals. Reichel does not pan out apparently in franchise mode much more than this, because he only wants $14.75 for 8 years. Huh. That's interesting. How much points did he have last season as well? 29 points. Yeah, he's not really a huge offensive guy in this franchise mode. I could still lock him up for at least like 5 years if I wanted to, because that's still a movable contract. Yeah, let's do 5 years for him at $14.50. I know it's weird giving these guys multiple year deals at cheap prices, but I mean, if they're not going to develop much more than this, might as well hold on to him. Regula had an okay season, didn't he? Yeah, he had an okay offensive season, 23 points. We could hold on to Regula for a while. Or I might just qualify some of these guys, but I wouldn't mind keeping some of them around for a couple years during like the rebuilding stage, you know. Yeah, two-way deal for Zari's actually pretty good at this stage. The rest of these guys want 2 ways, so we'll give them 2 ways. Kachuk. 1-year deal for Kachuk. I don't think I want to hold on to Kachuk super long. He's definitely going to be a 4th liner for a couple years, but who else we got here down here? I'll probably sign all the RFAs, but a lot of the AHL UFAs I need to get rid of because we need to make some room for younger guys at some point. So 1-year deal just because to make it a little bit easier. Vlasic as well as not developing much. Tepley, we'll do that, and Hardman 1 year as well. That's good. Goaltending wise, we don't got any RFAs. UFA wise, let's see what we got here. Let's actually go to the bottom of this list first. Ludwinski. I could sign Paul Ludwinski. Why not? And then we're also going to definitely sign Frank Nazar. If we're going to let go of Phillip to make some room. Savoy is also going to get signed. I think we're going to have to let go of Tohila, because I don't think he's really much of anything anyways, but we'll let him walk. Hayes should get signed as well because he's a 76 at 20. We're going to let go of Lafferty for sure. We're going to let go of Zaitsev for sure. Blackwell for sure. Zach Aston Reese for sure for now. Dickinson. I'll sign Dickinson for another year because why not? And then Dom Kubalik. Yeah, we'll sign Kubalik for another year. Why not? Give him a little bit more money as well, just to kind of keep us kind of close to the minimum. So there you go. And goalie-wise, Mrazek, we're going to let him walk as well, I think I said. Because we got Comesso and Soderblom we could run this year, so. Yeah, we're going to let go of Mrazek. And let's advance the day, see we get all those guys in, which more than likely we should be. Looks like those coaches are accepting again, which is good to see that. Because we don't want to be that great this season yet. And okay, so that's good there. Dickinson rejected, but we'll still try and get him back. 1 year deal. Let's talk him up a little bit. since I will have the cap space available for some free agents anyways. So there's that. And we're good on the RFA front. Oh, Bodine rejected. Okay. Um. 2-year deal for Bodine. Yeah, we'll just give him exactly what he wants. It's cheap enough, and we need the cap hit anyways, so both those guys should accept, which they do, I think I just saw. Yep, okay, perfect. So we are good in terms of contracts. We have $31 million still in cap space. So that is going to be our target, to knock that all the way up to like only having like 10 million in cap space, I guess. So we definitely got to sign some big names this offseason to make that float. We have contract room as well now, which is nice. But here is what we got currently going into free agency. So we got Byfield, Khrushchev, Pedersen, Dickinson, Reichel, Lambert, who's up to, going to be probably an NHL team this season, and maybe even Zari. So we got right there 7 players. We got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 roster players, 14, 15 potential roster players. So Holtman could end up starting back in the AHL again for a bit till he gets into the 80s if we want to. And Wilson could be just in the AHL, but we could always trade away some of these guys that we don't need for assets, like Entwistle, for example, or somebody like Kachuk, just to find somebody with more cap hit. And then defensively, we could sign some players to have a better cap hit. We got Girard, McCabe, Mitchell, Regula, Korchinski, and Bodin. And then I think Edvinson might spend another year in the AHL, or maybe we could play him in the NHL instead of Bodin. I don't know. But Caleb Jones is dropping off a lot because of morale, it looks like, so we should probably trade him away. Yeah, we should probably trade him away for somebody with a higher cap hit. I don't know. We could probably do something like that. Goalie-wise, Comesso and Soderblom, so we could always sign a goalie if we want to as well to bring in more money. Yeah, we could always sign ourselves a goaltender, because I think we could always just run like Soderblom in the AHL. Yeah, we might honestly sign another goaltender. Like, we could honestly bring back Peter Mrazek if we really want to, but... So we got some contract room. We got money to spend, obviously. Let's see what free agency is looking like this season. And I also show you guys the trading block and all that type of thing as well. Okay, free agency-wise, what is out there? So, in terms of big-name players, well, we're not going to sign a big-name player, but we're just going to sign somebody that could fit onto, like, maybe a third line at best, or maybe a defenseman we could sign. But if there's anybody you guys see that we could sign to bring in, that, like Bemstrom, for example, is actually not a bad option. $3 million, though. Does not pick up a lot of points. But still, there's Bemstrom. That's young if we want to bring in young players. Hepo Niemi is also out there. Yeah, we could honestly bring in one of these type of guys like Noah Gregor, but a lot of these guys we already have players in that type of role. So I feel like we should probably look for more of a defenseman for the type of cash to try and bring us back to the minimum cap floor. But there's all these type of players out there. Left wing wise, Marchessault is the best. Yeah, there's a lot of players out there that could make impacts. Jeannot even's not that bad of a bottom 6 option. He wants just under $2 million for an 82. But we could just give him a ton of money if we want to. So Tanner Jeannot might be an option if we want to bring in a forward. Kuzmenko even. Does he seem like good in franchise mode? Played 1 year in Vancouver, played 1 year in Pittsburgh. 30 points. He's better than that in real life, but oh well. Max Jones, not really panning out, but yeah, there is options for us to bring in on forwards wise. Patrick Kane's there again if we want to bring back Patrick Kane. Signed a 1 year deal again in Colorado, had 92 points in 82 games, and then had 19 points in 24 games in the playoffs. Impressive. So there is all that. Yeah, there's even like Kapanen, who we could bring in as a player to bring in to sign for a year and then trade him away. Cole Lind is up to an 82, which is a little bit high for him, but oh well. Yeah, there is options for sure, which is good. Daniel Sprong even. Defenseman wise, Owen Power is an RFA, but Buffalo needs to give him a big contract apparently. Tony DeAngelo's out there. You know I hate that guy. Yeah, there's defensemen out there for sure that we could give money to. Shillington, for example. Labushkin's out there. So definitely guys we could pay in order to get ourselves back to being kind of close to the cap floor. Even like Liber Hatchek might be okay. Yeah, Hatchek would probably be a good option. Yeah, he's not bad. He's a good DFD. Goaltending wise, if we wanted to bring in a goaltender so we could send Soderblom to the AHL, there's a lot of goalies out there. We could bring back Antti Rant to Chicago if we want to, since he was here at one point back in his rookie seasons. And yeah, there is that. So there is free agency. Let's take a quick look at the trading block, and then that'll be it for this episode, just in case you guys want me to make some trades. Because trades are always fun. We've made some pretty big ones already in this franchise mode, so let's see what we got out there. Linus Ullmark. We can honestly even take on somebody like Linus Ullmark for 1 year, but I mean, it might make us too good of a team. What else we got here? A lot of big guys in Calgary. But we're looking probably for more prospects, I would say, in a sense. But we could find a roster player that that has a cap hit to kind of make us a little bit more afloat as well. Josh Manson's that type of guy as well. 2 years at 4.5 would help out our defensive core. His dad used to play for Chicago, obviously, like in Dave Manson, so that wouldn't be that bad. Then we get that $4.5 million cap hit for 2 years, and that helps us kind of stay a little bit afloat. I don't know why I like that word right now, is saying afloat. Stranges is still on the block, but he's not growing much. Doesn't seem like any huge top prospects. Berggren's not bad, but he's 23 already, so he's not going to grow higher much. Low top sixes don't really develop super often, but they do sometimes. Carter Verhaeghe signed only for 1 more year. Logan Couture signed for 3 more years, but I don't like that $8 million cap hit. Seth Jones is still on the block, and Murphy, both in LA. It's funny that they wanted them, but then now they have them on the block still. What else we got here? Gallagher, Dvorak, Anderson. No, thank you. Yeah, there's definitely guys out there that we could bring in if we want to hit our cap. Like, we could even bring in Ryan McDonough for 2 years, but his value is pretty high. But Ekholm would be good in terms of that. He's a little bit of a good defenseman though too, so I don't want to over-assimilate, but I also want to hit the cap minimum if we can easily and not run into much problems. Ryan Lindgren has his rights on the block by the New York Rangers. That's an interesting one. Huh. Yeah, he's a decent defenseman. In real life, he's a really good DFD, I'd say. He's physical as well. Huh. That's a very interesting one. If I was going to trade for somebody's rights and just give him a contract right away, I think Ryan Lindgren would be a perfect fit for our defensive core. Because he could fit into like the top 4, I'm pretty sure, at this point. So I'd say Lindgren's very intriguing, in my opinion. I don't know what else you guys think. We could probably make a big trade with Rangers. Tyler Boucher's on the block, but he doesn't look like he's going to pan out. Which I know some of you guys are going to joke around him about being a bust, but oh well. Brian Russ, Bluger, Sherry. A lot of players on the block in Pittsburgh. Not really much in San Jose. Dylan Strome, bring him back. I'm joking. Braden Shen, I don't like that cap hit, but it would still help us cap wise. Upshaw. Some prospects there in Toronto. Not a lot of them with good potential. Kokkinen's actually got good potential, but he's 23. Mikheyev's on the block, another guy that could be a good cap hit for us for a while. Pietrangelo, Martinez, McNabb. Damn, a lot of good players on the block. Even Patrice Bergeron's on the block by Washington. It's weird. Nick Backstrom, TJ Oshie. And that is what's on the trading block this off-season. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So next episode, we will take it to free agency. We'll sign ourselves some more good scouts to make this team a little bit better in terms of the scouting. We'll definitely pick up a few pieces to make us more in terms of the cap, hitting that cap floor, because we had problems with it last season, and I don't really want to run into much more problems with that because it's kind of annoying. But let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.